Most people think The Sixth Sense is just a ghost story about a boy who sees the dead. But the film hides something far more delicate, a truth that sits quietly in every frame, just waiting for the audience to notice. And once you understand the one detail everyone overlooks, the ending stops feeling like a twist and becomes a tragic, inevitable truth. The Sixth Sense begins with a feeling of quiet warmth. Dr. Malcolm Crowe, a respected child psychologist, has just been honored by the city of Philadelphia. On this night, he feels proud, calm, and finally at peace after years of difficult work. But that peace is shattered almost instantly when he and his wife return home. Inside their bedroom stands a former patient, confused, trembling, and furious, accusing Malcolm of failing him. The confrontation ends with a gunshot. Malcolm collapses. The screen fades to black. When we see him again, months have passed. Malcolm appears thinner, quieter, and more distant. The movie doesn't present this as something supernatural. Instead, it lets the audience assume he survived the attack. We follow him into the story of a troubled boy named Cole Sear, who seems terrified of something he cannot explain. He runs from cold spots. He hides in small spaces. His drawings show violent images he claims he didn't mean to create. His mother is confused and exhausted, trying to hold her life together with an affection that feels very real. Malcolm believes Cole's fear is psychological trauma, maybe from bullying or a broken home. So he tries the standard approach, building trust. The movie uses small, intimate scenes to show this process. Malcolm sits with Cole. He walks with him. He asks simple questions and watches him play. Everything feels normal, but there's something unspoken in Cole's eyes, a constant fear, as if he's waiting for something terrible to appear at any moment. As the story unfolds, Malcolm starts to notice patterns. Cole avoids certain rooms. He freezes in the presence of cold air. He speaks about people who watch him at night. These details, harmless on their own, build toward something heavier. And this is where the movie's brilliance begins. The clues are never hidden, they're simply quiet. Cole eventually reveals the truth in one of the most iconic lines in cinema. "I see dead people." The movie doesn't deliver this line for shock value. Instead, it treats Cole's confession with the seriousness of a child describing a real, heavy burden. He says it because he wants help. From this moment on, the audience experiences the world differently. Every shadow in Cole's house feels alive. Every corner feels uncertain. The ghosts Cole sees are not cinematic monsters. They appear as ordinary people carrying the wounds of their death people who don't even know they re-dead. This approach is emotionally heavy rather than theatrical. Malcolm, still believing Cole's visions are just trauma responses, tries to reason with him, but Cole's honesty never cracks. And eventually, Malcolm begins to question his own assumptions. To understand Cole's ability, he listens to old therapy tapes, expecting to find psychological triggers. Instead, he hears a faint voice in the background of a recording, a voice speaking Spanish, asking for help. The moment is subtle but powerful. Malcolm realizes that Cole might actually be telling the truth. This realization shifts Malcolm's approach entirely. Instead of trying to suppress Cole's visions, he encourages him to listen to what the ghosts want. The film becomes less about fear and more about compassion for the dead. Cole helps a ghost child whose mother had poisoned her. He helps a grieving family find the truth. He becomes a bridge between worlds. The way the film portrays these moments is sensitive and grounded, focusing on emotional truth rather than cheap scares. All the while, Malcolm's personal struggle remains quietly in the background. He tries to reconnect with his wife, who seems distant, cold, and almost unreachable. He assumes their marriage is falling apart because he's always working, but the clues to the real truth are right there. She never responds to him directly. She drops his wedding ring. She whispers to him while he's asleep. She seems trapped in a grief that the film doesn't explain. Yet, the revelation comes in the final scenes, and it feels both shocking and gentle. Malcolm realizes he never survived the gunshot. Everything he believed, every conversation, every attempt to fix his marriage was happening from a place between life and death. Cole didn't just help the dead. He helped Malcolm accept the truth he'd been avoiding all along. Malcolm revisits the night he died. He sees the blood, the wound, the moment he slipped away. And with that acceptance, he finally lets go. His wife, in her sleep, whispers that she misses him. He answers her softly, and the film finally releases him from his unfinished business. The Sixth Sense is not a ghost story in the traditional sense. It's a story about communication, emotional closure, and the quiet ways people hold pain inside themselves. The twist works not because it's surprising, but because the film never lies to you. Every clue is there from the beginning. Every moment is honest, and every frame, once you see it again, reveals a truth that was always present. Malcolm was never talking to the living. Cole wasn't cursed, he was gifted, and the ghosts didn't haunt him, they sought him out. The film ends with something rare in psychological cinema, a sense of peace. Cole embraces his abilities, Malcolm moves on, and the audience is left with a profound story about compassion disguised as a horror film. That is the real, hidden meaning behind The Sixth Sense. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.